Can you really build income in network marketing with no audience, no experience, and no tech skills? So, when I first took a look at this, my honest thought was, okay, but that's for people who already have a following, people who are good at sales, people who are tech savvy or extroverted, naturally outgoing, or already know how to build things online. But I was none of those when I started. I was an introverted mom. I had not done much in the online space. I had a couple of friends that were friends and family, no audience, and no one that was entrepreneurial minded in my life at all. I didn't have a background in sales. I was honestly terrified of looking stupid in front of people I knew and also feeling like I was being pushy or I hated sales. I actually said that often that I hated sales. So any time that someone would talk about network marketing, I'd be like, nope, I hate sales. So if you're sitting here thinking, this sounds great, but I'm not the right person for it, we literally created this video specifically for you. So I'm Janine Marino here with my beautiful business partner and best friend, Natalie Lawson, and we've been in the industry for over 20 years combined. We're founders of Abundance Living Co., where we help faith-driven women to have breakthrough in their finances through your affiliate and network marketing businesses. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5, and we live a pretty unconventional life just built around faith, family, and freedom. Part of how we fund that life is through building income online, including through our digital travel and lifestyle business. And no, I'm not a travel agent. One of the comments that I get most often from women who are curious is some version of, but I'm not like you. And so today I want to break down exactly what this actually requires and what it doesn't, because I think a lot of women are disqualifying themselves based on this version that doesn't really exist, right? The things that I hear most is I don't have an audience. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not tech savvy. I'm too introverted. I'm too old to start something new. I don't have time to learn something from scratch. I've tried things before and they didn't work. I feel like that is the most common. And even if it's not spoken, it's what people are thinking. So, what it's important for you to hear is none of those things disqualify you. And I know that sounds like something that people just say, but I am living proof of that. And so, let us actually show you why it's not true.
Yeah. And so let's talk about, I think it's important, right, to dive into. So what does it actually require? Because I think all of us, I can totally relate to Janine when I got started, like, didn't know a lot of people, didn't really have any experience, never had really, at the beginning, didn't have good mentorship with it. And so I just thought, oh, I can't do it. It's not for me. But it was until, right, things shifted and I saw, okay, what it actually requires. And when you get the right mentorship, a lot of things can start shifting for you and you start developing yourself a lot. So first, let's just keep it super simple. Hopefully you know this by now, but it really does just require, like, if you have your phone and a Wi-Fi connection, that is pretty much how and where I spend most of my time when I'm building my business is on my phone. Okay. And so that's your only tech requirement. So it can be super simple. You don't need a website, a funnel, a podcast, a YouTube channel, or thousands of followers. Those things can definitely help you grow. Those things can come as you're building and growing. Like I said, we've been in the industry for years and we're just now having these things because of how we want to serve people and learning the skills over time. But when you first get started, you do not need that to start creating income right away, which is also why I love the industry, because you can start from day one earning without having all the things in place. 2, you just need a willingness to share something you genuinely believe in. So we're not cold calling strangers. You're not going door to door. You're not spamming your contacts, just anyone and everyone. I did used to hate that when everyone's like, I used to sell skincare and it was like, everyone with skin needs this. Well, yeah, maybe, but not everybody wants it or cares, right? And so it was really finding who was the person that I wanted to work with, who do I feel like would benefit from this, especially as well, and being able to connect with those people. And so if you can text someone too, I do think it's as simple as, like, if I can text someone about a show I like or a restaurant or a movie I just watched, then you do the same thing with the product that you love or a service that you're sharing. And so I think sometimes we just overcomplicate it too much. If you're not weird about it, then the conversation's not going to be weird. Then number 3 is consistency over time. Yes, consistency matters, just like with anything. Even if you're playing a sport, if you only practice one day a week, you're probably not going to be a starter on the team. Okay. So that's just kind of the same thing here, but it's not hustle culture, right? We're not saying you're working 60-hour weeks. It's just having that consistent, intentional action each day. You know, I now have, being a mom, a lot of my intentional time is during nap time. And then sometimes maybe after bed or on the weekends, just depending on our schedule and what I want to accomplish. But the women who build something real here are not the most talented. They don't have everything all together, but they are consistent and they are intentional with their time and persistent in what they're doing. And then the 4th thing is being a leader worth following. And this is the one most people I feel like don't talk about. And I don't think to me, leadership doesn't mean a rank or a title or a promotion. Leadership is who you are and how you show up and how you're serving people. And so the results are going to be also shaped by the leadership that you're tapping into, because leadership does matter. Like I said, that made a huge difference. Once I got around the right people who could teach me what to do and how to do it, and I could follow them and we aligned, that made a difference. So also your results will be shaped by who you plug into, the support system, the training, the community around you. And that's what's really important to Janine and I. Like we setting up when we came into our business, it was like, we want to have all those systems in place. We want to build different. We want to create something that people can truly plug into and make their own and be able to really, truly build leverage around their life. So I think that that's definitely important. And then I want to talk too about the audience thing. Let's touch on that a little bit more, because I think that that is a big fear where people come into like, I don't have an audience or I don't know anyone to talk to. And well, you are. And I know Janine said earlier, I hate sales. Well, we are in sales. So we don't need to hate it. But I think if we do it with right biblical principles and we're doing it from like the right motives, it can really be an amazing thing. And I know so many people I've bought things from that have helped me. And so having though the audience, like that's just a fear. And really what it is, it's more of a skill. Okay. And so you can actually build this. I think I maybe had like 300 friends on Facebook. I'm from a small town. I went to a small college. I'm introverted. Like I had like 4 friends, that I like hung out with regularly. And that was about it. And I was happy like that. So this definitely stretched me out of my comfort zone to be talking to people I didn't really know that well and being willing to connect to kind of strangers online. But had I not done that, I wouldn't have met Janine. Like I've met some of my closest friends and favorite people because of me being willing to leverage social media, learn the skills to grow my network over time, and be willing to, build those relationships and connections with others. And so that is really, it's like just shifting kind of your perspective around it. And because of that, right, like I was able over time to go on and earn those 6 figures online through the industry. And so you don't need an audience to start. You just need to work on building those relationships. And now you will see though, people who do have an audience, right? They do have influence with people, whether it's locally or online. Yeah, they will grow fast. So don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. They may be new in the company, but maybe they've been doing it for several years or they already have a following. They are going to probably see growth a little faster. But everybody's, because again, they still started where you are. They still had to learn the skills and develop over time. And so your message to someone that you genuinely care about will always outperform you just broadcasting a post to a cold audience. So over time, you'll build your content, you'll build, an online presence, you'll create something that does start to attract people to you. But if you're willing to have those conversations too, and not care about having like a huge audience, then you can get started right where you are and then start seeing that growth over time and the income coming in.
Yes, so true. And I have to say, as much as I hated sales for the longest time, I actually like them now because it really is helping people. It is serving people. When I think about the people that I have connected with that have truly helped me, they were selling me. I mean, that's what it is. Selling is serving. And I know so many people are like, I hate sales, but I love helping people. It's kind of like a coach. Like you can't help people unless you're willing to kind of say the hard things sometimes, that's really what it is. And so the real disqualifier, the thing that disqualifies someone from actually building income this way is it's not wanting it bad enough to be uncomfortable for a season. And that's something I actually was listening to. Tony Robbins said something. It was so funny because I heard like 3 people told me, oh yeah, did you hear? Like Tony Robbins said, So many people heard it. It was this week too, where he was just talking about how the common thing with anyone that is financially successful is that they did the thing that was uncomfortable for long enough to feel comfortable in it. And so you do not have to have a certain amount of followers. You don't have to have tech skills. It's not a certain personality type or your past failures or your network or anything. The women that I have watched struggle are not the ones who started with nothing. Sometimes it's the ones that I'm like, man, you could totally do this. But it's the ones who waited until everything felt perfect before they started. And they wait until they feel like they've learned everything and they overthink what people following them might think. And guess what? Everybody else, they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. So if you come across someone that is talking about something that you resonate with, that speaks to them, and you're being authentic, people are going to raise their hand. Perfect doesn't attract people. Perfect actually makes people feel like they're not doing enough. And so don't try to show up perfect because then people are going to not feel like they can relate to you. And if you're stopping, if you're like, oh, I want to help people and I want to do things, but you're not doing them because of fear, it's actually kind of selfish, to be honest. Because there's people on the other side of your yes and your obedience and you're outside of your comfort zone that are waiting to be reached by someone like you that they feel like is authentic, that can actually show them the way and take them alongside them. And so I'm an introvert who does not love being on camera. I honestly, I don't think I mind it anymore, but man, when I first started, it was seriously rough. And I've had seasons of health struggles and seasons where money was tight and pressure was really intense. None of that disqualified me. So your story doesn't disqualify you. It might actually be what someone else needs to hear to have a little bit of hope in their situation and in their life.
Yeah, I love that. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines because you felt like you're not the right fit, or maybe you've started a business, but you haven't really gone all in with because of all the things we just talked about, and you've had these fears or these limiting beliefs, then I just wanted to ask you to challenge that story for a second and really find out like what Tony Robbins was saying, what are you willing to do to get uncomfortable? Like, what do you really need? Is there a need there for you? And what's going to make the difference to help you get over that hump and realize, like, what, it doesn't matter what I think or the fears I have, I can push through those and pass those because I need to put food on the table for my family, or I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck, or I want to get out of debt. What is that need that you have? Really uncover that is going to be a big question, and that's what will help qualify you too. And it's whether you're willing to be someone who is willing to learn, be mentored, and implement immediately. That's really what you need to do. So, and now when you work with us, like I mentioned, we have the community, we have the Keynote Minded mentorship, the systems, on demand learning, and group and one-to-one. That's leadership development is so important to us. It's one of our core values. And so that is one of the reasons we chose this vehicle, because of the leveraged income, the daily residual passive income model within the digital space. And it's allowing everyday moms to come in and really get the support they need, because that's, if anything, in this industry that has like broken it a little bit, it's because of people not being good leaders. And so that's a huge part of our heart and making sure we take care of our people. So if you want to know, what does it look like to actually get started in this industry? What might it look like to even get started with us? Just know that it's just a matter of you making that decision and then going after what you want. So we hope this helped you, and we'd love to hear that in the comments. Yeah. So if you want to know, like, what would getting started actually look like, then grab the link below, because we'll walk you through that exactly and hopefully help answer some of the questions as well. And then go share this, subscribe, give it to a business bestie or a friend, and maybe you guys can get started in a business together like Janine and I did. So we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.